So great catching up with my next guest, Casey Oxendine, who has been doing some great work on the regional scene. And we got a big fight coming up here, big card, I should say, coming up here on Saturday, Showcase MMA 19. First off, Casey, how are you? I know you're a very busy guy these days.
I'm really good. I'm excited. And yeah, like particularly this week has been crazy because we just finished Showcase 20 and we're getting ready for 19. I know that's completely backwards, but it had to do with our venues and the way we ended up scheduling. We ended up with Showcase 20 going a month earlier than we expected to. So, and then a week apart between the two shows. So we've got, back to back, and we're going to, we did Kingsport, Tennessee last weekend. We're going to be in Greenville, South Carolina this weekend with a completely different show. So I think it's really cool. We use the South Carolina fighters, both the coastal guys and the upstate guys, a whole lot. And they blend in with the Tri-Cities, but this is all about, the South Carolina guys, the upstate, particularly the upstate guys like Tanner Saraceno, Joel Maddock, John Sweeney, and so forth.
Yes, and great to be back in Greenville, one of the hotbeds for MMA talent and all that. So it's really great to do that. By the way, if you want to see a preview of that card, Adam Martin and I did one just earlier today, so you can check that out here on the Spectation Sports YouTube channel. But I wanted to talk to you, man. We've gone way back years ago. We've been doing interviews for a very long time. It's pretty incredible what you've done since 2018. We were just talking about this off air. You've done 20 events in just under 3 years. How have you done it? I imagine a lot of coffee and probably a good calendar too.
Just keeping to a certain type of business model that's fair for everybody that is involved. Regional MMA, and it is known as the one catalyst for getting into the UFC, into Bellator, into the bigger shows. So being consistent, providing consistent shows, month after month, and but also putting on a great show, making competitive fights. And I think that it's this time it has really worked well. I started back in 2006. I worked with a promotion, State Line MMA. I worked with several other partners, and we did great. We did like 12 shows there, and we were able to promote the first show in the state of Tennessee that was licensed, and that was a big, monumental thing for us. And then we did a hip show and arena combat, which was an animal all into itself, and I also had the Pro One MMA and Fight Time MMA and all that, and that was really cool as well. This time it just fell into place perfect. The roster is great. We're seeing a lot of growth out of the guys. We were able to put a few guys into the bigger shows, even as recent as we've been in there, and so we're very proud of that, and we're excited, and we're really amped up about what's going to come next. Now, I also have a partner in this event in Showcase MMA, Brandon Watts. And Brandon is he really compliments me very, very well. So where I leave off, he picks up, and he's got he also has he's a photographer, and then he's also does graphic design. So all of those posters and so forth, those are all Brandon. So
okay. I was going to say I like those. They got kind of a cool look to them. So shout out to Brandon for those.
Yeah, we fit in together, and we've been able to really rattle these off. And of course, the pandemic, we were able to, get up and running by June of last year. We were able to do like 5 or 6 shows since, post-pandemic, which, gave us a really good boost because thankfully we were, located in Tennessee. Tennessee was able to get us up and running. We were, had to implement a safety protocol, which was cool. I was able to, kind of open up in a different way and have to kind of improvise, and so we created a safety protocol and got that in with the state, and we were able to do it. So anyway, I know I'm long-winded, but
no, it's all important information, and I like kind of pulling back the curtain and seeing what's happening behind the scenes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we're here. We're May 29th. It's Showcase 19, and I think it's going to be sick.
Last thing I want to get to before we dig into this card a little bit, what's been the overwhelming, positivity from the fighters? Because like you mentioned, you're doing shows during the pandemic. I mean, now we're sort of seeing more shows doing consistent shows, but back then, I mean, this time last year, there wasn't any regional MMA at all. So what was it like? I'm sure you had a lot of fighters hitting you up saying, hey, I want to fight on your show.
Undoubtedly, from everywhere in the nation and internationally.
Yeah.
Particularly in Canada, we had a lot of Canadian fighters, and they knew exactly how to do it too. They had been able to come and fight, here, and they were like, man, I've got my visa. The people, from really good gyms that are just unable to get fights where they're located, they were able to work with us some. And, it was, there has to be give and take on all sides with this stuff. And I think that's where it is. I was a fighter years ago in the early 2000s, and a coach, and a media guy, and all of that, and then and a promoter as well. So I can kind of see from all directions, for all everyone's standpoint, kind of where it has to be. And the ultimate goal is to get these guys good fights and get them where they need to be as quickly as possible, and allow the cream to rise to the top. And we've been able to do that. So I think that, just to be able to be active, they were really appreciative, and we were appreciative of them being willing to be active during all that craziness.
And we got that this Saturday. You mentioned it there. Main event, Tanner Saraceno taking on Zach Kelley. It was supposed to be George Shepard. He is out. Zach Kelley's in. Thing I love about this fight is two veterans, so to speak, that have had a lot of high-level competition. If you look at Zach Kelley, maybe not the greatest record, but you look at who he's fought, a lot of UFC vets, a lot of big names in there. And same thing with Tanner. His first loss was to Sean Brady, who's, now in the UFC fighting Kevin Lee right now. It's pretty incredible here. Just your thoughts on this matchup and still being able to have this happen with the, George Shepard being out of the fight.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Shepard, he got injured. One of those guys where he had proof and everything. So, there's really nothing you can say. I mean, there have been instances with pullouts and stuff like that. That was not the case with George Shepard. He wanted to fight. But immediately, obviously, Tanner Saraceno was a guy that we won on the card. And so we went on the hunt, and we were able to secure Kelley, and he'll be here. He'll be ready to rock. And this is a guy that comes to fight. So, I'm really excited to be able to pit those guys together and see those fighters headlining this big card.
And just to give people an idea, and we talked about this in the preview show, Tanner is one of those guys that's always been on the cusp of getting that call to one of the bigger shows. So really important fight for him. And a guy, for Zach, there's a lot of opportunity to sort of steal that thunder as well. So really exciting main event. Let's talk about the co-main event, Joel Maddock and Jesus Valingas. I believe that's how you say it. Really exciting fight, just with two guys that are on the come up. Joel already made his pro debut. It's going to be a pro debut here for Jesus. What can we expect in this fight in terms of the matchmaking and them coming together?
I think this one's very, very well put together. Both of them are coming to put on a show, and I think that this one's going to be it's duly deserves its status, and I think that it's two tough guys, and I'm ready to see that one happen as well.
And then the other fight we got to talk about, John Sweeney. This is a guy who I've heard about for years. He's fought really, really good competition on the regional scene, including Keith Lee, who's in Bellator. He has a win over him. Going to be taking on Calvin Harborough. It's a 140 catchweight. I got a chance to talk to John earlier today, sort of get some insight as to why it's a catchweight. He just wants to make sure the fight happens, so he doesn't want any issues with weight. So looks like this one is going to go off. But Sweeney's another guy that's been on the cusp of getting to the big show on a 2-fight losing streak. One of those losses is to Cody Durden, who's in the UFC right now. And he's taking on Calvin Harborough, who 5-fight veteran, has been, fighting for LFA. He's been every really popular guy in the Michigan MMA scene. Tell me about how this fight came together and what we can expect on Saturday.
Well, it's the battle of the Hollywoods.
Yes.
These are two guys that are never at a loss for words. And they, instantly, Harborough, was ready to go. Sweeney was ready to go. They're making a big push on all avenues, coming from both camps. So that one's and that's what you love when you're a promoter. You love guys that will talk and be, and get out there and push the fight. And these guys certainly have been doing that. And I think it's going to make fireworks in the cage in Greenville.
Yeah, highly recommend checking out my interview with John. It'll be up here shortly. And Calvin, I'll be talking to tomorrow. I know he's going to want to respond to some of the stuff John said, but that's typical for John. I've been interviewing John for years. The guy definitely knows how to promote a fight, so excited for that. What can you tell us about the rest of the year, Casey, in terms of the events? There's been a lot of frequency here. Again, I know some fights have fallen through. I'm sure you're looking to get those rebooked at a later date, but what can you tell us about the rest of 2021 for Showcase MMA?
So already, Meadowview, our last event at Meadowview this past weekend, the 22nd, that venue is already booked for September 3rd. So we're going to be back in Kingsport September 3rd. Between now and then, we are working on some stuff, and we can't talk about it right now because nothing's confirmed, but we're working on something cool, very, very cool and different. And so we'll kind of let everybody in on that as it surfaces. But and then after that, we've got a full schedule. Just keep your eyes on our social media, and we'll be announcing these events. And that's the thing. As long as people keep coming to these shows and loving them, we'll keep promoting them. You know, and it has definitely been a very, very. I'm extremely excited to have this event. And then after that, I've got a little bit of time here in the summer. Our pool is opening over here, so
gotta enjoy that.
Able to chill with the kids and stuff like that, but then right back at it again, you know. So, but we'll keep you guys posted and you know, go from there.
And last thing I just wanted to mention, Spectation Sports, a lot of really great things happening over there. We've got a great team over there. How cool is it to be working with them and streaming the events? And the thing I like about this, Casey, as well, is that, you know, there are some other regional promotions on UFC Fight Pass, but this is kind of the focus is on the one show and the one event here. And I know there's a lot of things. There's articles, there's previews, there's, you know, betting involved as well. So, you know, just talk a bit about the future with the partnership with Spectation and just where we're headed in the future.
Well, they're great, and it's great production. Top tier production. It's professionalism. They make it very, very easy, and you know, they do push the product out there. They get it out there in front of the eyes, and in a lot of places that, you know, that may not normally be seen outside the Carolinas and in Tennessee, where we're primarily located. You know, so they're you know, amazing. And then on top of that, you do have the additional gaming and so forth on that, which definitely adds intrigue, you know, to the product. You know, it is much different than other events of its type. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and we're looking forward to it. Saturday, Showcase MMA 19 going from the Thomas Creek Brewery in Greenville, South Carolina. We're all looking forward to it. Casey, anything you want to plug here at the end? And again, I really appreciate the time today.
No, just, you know, get your tickets as soon as you can. Legacy Nightlife with a Y.com. You can get you can score general admission. There may be a few premium available. If you're interested in premium, shoot us a message at Showcase MMA if we've got any extra. We had a few shuffle back in, but we don't have very many of those. But no, other than that, I just want to say thank you guys, and thanks to all of our sponsors and everybody that's given us this platform, and we've got some big things in store.